accept the fact that the city is headed for a disaster physical performance. What he needs is Old Testament. Reading the wrath of God type stuff. Rivers of seas boiling. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. That's Harry.
I have the power. When I say that phrase, many of you hear the voice behind it. And yes, and you might say, oh, that's He-Man, but more than just that, it is John Irwin, a man whose voice remains etched in the memory of millions. And today we gather to celebrate his extraordinary life as he passed away yesterday, leaving us with great sadness as we look back on his vast contributions to television, animation, and entertainment. We remember not just the roles he played, but the warmth, talent, and professionalism that made him one of the most enduring talents of his era. From the dusty trails of Rawhide to Saturday morning cartoons and even beloved TV commercials, John Irwin was a true legend. His journey as a performer began back in the 1960s as an aspiring young actor with a smooth, resonant voice, which found its way into the golden screens of television during one of its most formative decades. One of his earliest appearances was the classic Western series Rawhide, a landmark TV show that, to this day, is remembered as an essential piece of television history. Starring alongside the likes of Clint Eastwood, this era of Irwin's career brought him into a world of grit and storytelling seeped in sepia tones and frontier landscapes. As a young actor, his natural charisma fit perfectly within the tales of courage and survival, offering glimpses of the performer he would become. But it wasn't just Rawhide that introduced audiences to John Irwin's potential. In his early years, he honed his craft both on screen and off, reshaping his presence into a talent that would eventually find its way behind the microphone in the world of voice acting. And thank God it did, because it was in voice work that John Irwin's star shined its brightest. Fans of classic Saturday morning animation will undoubtedly remember one of his most enduring roles, the voice of Reggie Mantle in The Archie Show. Premiering in 1968, The Archie Show brought the beloved characters from Archie comics to life with pop culture flair and musical zest. In the role of Reggie, John captured the mischievous, sarcastic, and altogether charming persona of Archie's frenemy rival. For generations of fans, the sound of John's voice in this role helped define the personality of Reggie Mantle, giving a distinct cadence to a character that leaped from the pages of the comic books into the living rooms of families all across the nation. But talent like John's wasn't confined to just one genre. During the 1970s and early 80s, he lent his voice and personality to an entirely different kind of project. One that would become iconic in its own right. Say the name of Morris the Cat, and many heads nod knowingly. The debonair feline, the face of 9 Lives cat food commercials, wouldn't have been the same without John Irwin voicing his suave, deadpan wit. Across dozens of advertisements, Morris the Cat imparted his finicky feline humor into homes everywhere, becoming a beloved advertising mascot. And this was entirely due to the brilliance of Irwin's delivery. The humor, charm, and subtlety of his performance gave the ads staying power that few advertising campaigns ever can achieve, proving that once again John's talent transcended medium or genre. And then there was He-Man. If you mention his name today, chances are audience will remember one thing above all else. John Irwin's iconic voice booming the immortal words, "By the power of Grayskull, I have the power." Those words, those performances launched He-Man and the Masters of the Universe into the hearts of millions when the series debuted in 1983. As both Prince Adam, the humble alter ego, and He-Man, the valiant hero, John delivered a vocal performance that defined an era of animation and inspired children worldwide. The character of He-Man became a symbol of empowerment, courage, and kindness. Much of this came from the way John Irwin interpreted the role. His He-Man wasn't just a muscle-bound warrior. He was compassionate, a beacon of light and hope for Eternia, balanced with a sense of humor and humanity that came through in John's performance. Even without seeing his face, his voice brought the character to life in a way that felt tangible, heroic, and real. And though the legendary Filmation cartoon concluded in 1985, thanks to John's work, He-Man lived on in reruns, toy lines, and more importantly, the imaginations of multiple generations. What made John truly special as a performer was his versatility. From cowboys to mischievous teens, from sarcastic cats to superhero warriors. He had an uncanny ability to give life to characters that became cultural touchstones. His range as a voice actor was remarkable, and his commitment to his craft elevated even the most humble scripts into something memorable, something iconic, something legendary, and something that we all remember. John Irwin's contributions to entertainment didn't often see his name in lights. His face wasn't plastered on movie posters, nor did he walk away with major awards that often celebrate more visible performances in Hollywood. Yet, his work arguably reached farther and touched more lives than many actors with household names ever could. The magic of his voice transcended time and space. It became a nostalgic foundation for millions of childhoods, a voice that inspired kids to believe in their own strength, to stand up for what's right, and to embrace their imaginations. As we reflect today on his incredible career, let us not only remember the roles that made him famous, but also the man who brought them to life. Those who worked with John over the years recall his professionalism, humility, and kindness. Though his passing leaves behind an irreplaceable void, his legacy will live on not only in the work we can revisit, but also the hearts of children, now adults, who grew up inspired by his talent and sharing it with their own kids. Let us honor John Irwin by celebrating the joy, laughter, and most importantly, the humanity he brought to many of his roles. Because at the heart of every cowboy on the frontier, every sarcastic cartoon teen, every finicky feline, and every superhero strong enough to move mountains, there was John. Modest, talented, brilliant John Irwin. So today and every day forward, we say thank you, John, for the stories, laughter, inspiration, and adventure. Your voice will forever echo in the halls of Eternia and in the hearts of all of those throughout many generations that you have touched. You will be deeply missed, but your legacy will never fade. Broadcasting live here on the first day of February in the year 2025, you're listening to WDCE 90.1 FM. Follow me at Sam Newsman all over social media. And make sure that you continue to listen to this show and the radio only segments by downloading the Live 365 app and searching WDCE or going to WDCE.org or WDCE.net. We'll be back in just a few moments as we close out the show, as we continue our way here on the only award-winning radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real award-winning media puppet. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday Morning. I'm a master in something.